another one.
And Andrew can definitely help with this one too, right? What are some exciting and extraordinary tools that you are using as QA? I'm not looking for suggestions like Jira or ALM, something new and unheard of. Okay, cool. So, as QA, we are start the clock. So, I use a lot of different libraries and packages and stuff like that and it's just for whatever language that I'm working in. So, for instance, let's talk about I'll talk about Java first, right? So, of course, Selenium, Test and G, but I really liked using Rest Assured when I was doing QA testing and automation using Java. Rest Assured was the API testing framework that I implemented into the framework to test APIs, and it was really good, really fun. And then also being able to implement Google Google APIs into the framework where I could use Google Sheets as a data provider, so I can have my data totally externalized. So that was another cool and extraordinary tool. If we jump over to and using like extent reports, like just different things that you find and you piece together, right? Um, if I jump over to Python now, I would say the M3U8 parser because I work in the video streaming industry as a senior QA engineer. So figuring out which was a totally new domain for me, like last year, figuring out how to test, just video encoding, video playback, and stuff like that. So using the M3U8 parser, that was a cool one. And that way, like if you're not familiar with M3U8 and like with video streaming, HLS segments and stuff like that, I have a video on the channel that you should definitely go and check out to get an idea of how it works. Where I'm actually going through, I think I used the website Flow Grappling, and I was able to parse their manifest and stuff, do some really cool stuff, right? But you're able to get that data, validate video playback works and stuff like that, right? There is also I really like Behave, right? Behave is the Cucumber version for Python. Today I was writing some tests in like some automation tests for some work that we were doing, and I was able to do it so fast because when using Cucumber or Behave and stuff like that, most of the tests are already written, and it's like you just have to like start taking the steps over and stuff like that. And then I just had to do a minimal amount of additional code to get it to work, and it worked beautifully. So that's another tool. Then there's like Team City and stuff like that. There is I like Report Portal to report on our testing metrics, and it has a bit of AI or not, maybe not AI, but it has like machine learning in there to understand the trends, identify flaky tests to try to figure out why a test failed and stuff like that. So, like, let me see what other tools that are there. I mean, a lot of times, it's as you're needing to build something, you do research to find what you need, right? If I think about Flutter, right? So that's like I started learning Flutter maybe like 2 months ago, and and I wanted to do it using test driven development. So learning how to do the widget test, learning how to find packages and stuff like that. So many like it's so many like there's endless amount of tools that you can use, and then working with like Don, right, with from Chaos Camp, just exposure to how do you test audio, right? How do you test like audio stuff? How do you test video stuff? How do you test AI? And then like on Wednesdays we are doing not Wednesdays. What I'm talking about Wednesdays, not Wednesdays, but on Thursdays. All the different frameworks that we're using for automating free mind recovery from type not TypeScript. We're doing it through TypeScript, but we're using Selenium WebDriver, we're doing Cypress, we're doing Playwright, and as we have needs at the time, and that's the thing about like software engineering, about QA and stuff like that, right? There is no there's not just one thing at one time. Like you're all like as you keep moving forward, like I've forgotten more tools than most people have used, right? Because I'm always like looking for new tools that we need to build stuff, because that's how you figure out, that's how you solve problems, that's how you solve needs, all right? So like, and I just rattled off a bunch of different tools, and I was like, it just depends on what your needs are, right? So let's say you are, oh, and another quick tool, right? um there is the environment marker, which I have that on my computer at work, and when I'm sharing my screen, sometimes the engineers or other QAs like, oh my goodness, what's that? And I'm like, oh, it's just this little plugin called environment marker, where it lets you know if you're in prod, or if you're in like staging, or if you're in development, whatever. So it's just little tools here and there that you just find it through research, you know. So definitely, and I even showed that on the channel on a Sunday, I believe it was. So just different things all around, and maybe I'll start to, like, either on Sundays or on Thursdays, show different tools that I'm using, different things that I found as I find them, you know. So definitely something to do. All right, so let's wrap that one up. That was a great question. I love those type of questions, which get a lot more technical and a lot more creative, you know. So shout out to that question.
If you enjoyed the fascinating information shared in this video and you want more, be sure to hit the subscribe button to Tech Coach Ralph to be notified for new videos.